Hi everyone, welcome to Duality Repair. This is the Parasound HCA-800II high current power amplifier. This is another unit sent in by a viewer, and of course it's got a problem, so let me show you. So the relay does not engage and the status LED stays in standby red. So let's open it up. Okay, and we're inside. Let's take a quick walk around before we get started. On the bottom left here we have the power switch, followed by the speaker selection board. Next we have the toroidal transformer and the two bulk caps. These are huge. These are ELNA 15,000 microfarad at 71 volts. I sure hope we don't have to replace those. It would be very expensive. In the center we have the power supply / protection board. On the bottom here we have the level selection board, and on the right we have the amplifier section. So since we have a protection issue, I want to first start by looking for DC on the output. I can't actually look at the speaker terminals because the relay is not engaging. So I'm going to start by looking at the amplifier board itself. Alright, I'm going to first check for DC on the right output, which is this red wire here, and then I'll check on the left output, which is the white wire. So I'll turn it on. You can see we don't have anything on the right output. Let's take a look at the left output. No, we don't have a DC problem. Change of plans. Through a bit of troubleshooting, I was able to determine that if I leave the unit on for just a little while, maybe 30 to 45 seconds, the relay does eventually engage. I think this delay is due to one or several failed capacitors. They're just not charging up as fast as they should. You'll notice as well that the status LED does start off red, but it does eventually change from red to orange and orange to green. I think this is also due to a failed or failing capacitors. I hooked up some audio and it sounds decent through both channels, so let me do that now. We'll turn it on. You can hear the relay engage. It struggles for a while there, and that was much faster than the original. This took only, I don't know, 3 or 4 seconds. It's probably because the unit's been on for a while as I've been testing it, and it's just warm. I'm sure that if I let it sit and get cold, it would take just as long as it did originally. So let me put some audio on and you can see what it sounds like. So it sounds pretty good actually. Both channels sound pretty level. I don't hear much of any distortion from either channel right now. And you can see again the status LED is red. If I were to leave it on for maybe another minute or so, you would see it change to orange and then eventually to green. So I think this unit could definitely benefit from a recap. That was on my list to do anyway, as these are all original and they're all 85C rated. I'm going to start by pulling this relay off. This is another Guardian relay. This is the same relay, or very, very similar to the relay that I had to remove and clean in the Carver unit that I did recently. So I'm going to pull that off, we'll clean the contacts, and I'll also recap the power supply section, just this power supply board here. And I believe just doing that will get rid of the delay in the status LED changing colors, as well as the delay in the relay engaging. So let's start with that. Alright, here's another Guardian relay for you. This is a 12 volt coil, 5 amps, and it's in really good shape. We'll take the spring off so we can take a look at the variable contacts, but I'm sure they need to be cleaned up just a little bit. For cleaning, what I do is I use computer paper soaked in contact cleaner, and that does the trick pretty well. So let's get started with that. The relay has been cleaned and reinstalled, and the power supply section has been recapped. Let's see if that made any difference. And yes, it looks like it did. The relay engaged almost immediately, and at the same time the status LED immediately went to operation green. So I think the caps and the dirty relay contacts were probably the major issues with this unit. Let's see how it sounds. Sounds really good. So just like the HCA-800, pretty much it's just needed a little work in the power supply section. Of course, I'm not quite done with this. I'm also going to recap the amplifier section before I call it complete. So I'll get started on that now. Actually, before we do that, let's take a look at the ESR of the 5 caps that I replaced, just to see if we can find a smoking gun with one of those. Okay, so the 4 on the left checked out okay. Some of them were a little high, but nothing too concerning. But the one under measurement right now, C007, which is a 33 microfarad at 10 volt cap, is failing miserably. So this should be something like 2 to 3 ohms of ESR, and obviously we're looking at greater than 30 ohms ESR. This cap is directly in line with the power supply section and the coil of the relay, so it makes sense that this failing cap was causing our issue. So now let's get started with recapping the amplifier section. Alright, we're completely recapped, so this one is done. It wasn't the most exciting video, so I appreciate you watching, but we did get some meaningful service in that prolonged the life of this unit. We'll see you next time.